Welcome back to the channel, Warhammer Matt back in the studio, and today we're taking a look at the Squats reveal. As many of you may know, in my video yesterday and in the comments section, I basically said that I thought this was real and that they were essentially trolling the trolls. My main argument was it put a lot of work into that trailer. Also, people want squats and Games Workshop is a business, so it didn't make sense for them to not try and at least make some money and put all that effort into just a troll. So here we have the follow-up, and once again, Games Workshop being super predictable. But that being said, let's take a look. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, and Warcry news, reactions, reviews, and all types of how-to tutorials and much, much more. What April Fools? The 41st Millennium's next faction is real. Here's a model to prove it. It has come to our attention that yesterday's stunning reveal of the next Warhammer 40,000 faction fell on an unfortunate date. This was an honest mistake that absolutely anyone could have made. To make it up to you, we have a rather special announcement. They're real. And then they just showed the little video again. Yes, they're real. In an April Fool's double bluff that had Tzeentch himself scratching his feathered head, humanity's long-lost cousins actually are making their return to the 41st millennia as a full-time Warhammer 40k faction. And here we see our first model. Very cool. We did see like a little preview of this in advance. So they have like these crazy little feet, which we saw in the preview. This appears to be a bionic leg, or at least partially bionic. It's like super skinny at the ankle and everything. Pretty cool looking guns. Overall, like the aesthetic of them. They are obviously like, futuristic space dwarves, if you're not familiar with the Squats faction. Pretty cool overall. And while those nasty necromundans still call them squats, that's not at all how they refer to themselves. These warriors have a long and proud martial history, and to those who aren't on their bad side, they're known as the Leagues of Votann, though they refer to themselves as kin. And then here we have a better look. So obviously have like a pretty cool futuristic kind of like space suit armor. The armor itself, we kind of talked about a little bit in yesterday's video. It looks like they're made to have like sort of a dome helmet. They definitely have like a Castellan robot type look to them. I like it. Pretty cool backpacks built into their armored suit. Couple cool little like holsters and everything for a pistol. Overall, I really like the aesthetic of them. It looks nice. Bionic eye. New gun we're not familiar with, obviously. Although their civilizations share common roots with humanity, the Leagues of Votann have an uneasy relationship with the Imperium of Man. Unlike their superstitious human cousins, the Leagues emerged from the Age of Strife with far more of their ancient technology intact. Including some infamous advances the Imperium would consider extremely heretical. Such a cool art piece. This is obviously like, a sergeant or some kind of like upgraded trooper. He's got a, mini power fist and plasma pistol. Very cool. Definitely looks pretty grizzled. I like it. I like the art. I like the models. Looking forward to seeing more. Their knack for human science and a headstrong nature makes for skilled warriors backed up by reliable weaponry, as you can see from even the basic trooper. And while there's no love lost between the Leagues of Votann and humankind, the resurgence of chaos and ascended Xenos horde means they are usually more pressing concerns than fighting each other. The Leagues of Votann are coming to Warhammer 40,000 later this year, but there are still a solid few months to go before we get a look at their advanced force. In the meantime, we'll be sharing a huge amount of info about the new faction and their place in the 41st millennium. So it says later this year and still a few months to go. So if we take that literally, a few months is 3 to 5 months. So we're talking about, 3 to 5 months from the beginning of April. So we're talking about, July to December. Yeah, very cool. I mean, I like the aesthetic. It makes perfect sense that GW would bring them back. I mean, like I said, obviously they would troll because it's, the perfect day to troll people. But the truth is, you're not going to troll people with something that they want to buy. Who are you trolling really? Fans and customers? And you're going to put a bunch of effort and money into creating a trailer that looks cool, that would get people excited. And then at the end of it, you have nothing to sell them? Yeah, right. I mean, business is not like that. It's a corporation. It's poor use of resources to spend money and time on a trailer for something you're not going to sell. It's also bad goodwill with your customers and shareholders if, you basically like make them mad because they want something and then you act like you're going to give it to them and then don't. So, just using reason makes sense that these were going to be real. So that's why I was arguing so strongly for it. And obviously, I'm sure most people are going to be excited for it. There is obviously some dissent within the community. They're mad that there's a new faction, but that their faction doesn't have a codex yet, or new models, or new rules, or whatever. The truth is, the design team is big. There's lots of people that work on it. And there's a big lag between when things get done and come out officially and when people are working on them. So I'm sure that people have been working on the squats for months or possibly years, the same way that they've been working on whatever faction of yours is missing stuff. So I don't think that it's a one or the other. I don't think that them working on squats has slowed down the Chaos Codex or whatever it is that people are upset about, Imperial Guard, etc. Now the real question is, they're clearly going for a separate faction. They talk about they're cool with the Imperium, but they're not necessarily part of the Imperium. So the real question is, are they going full on codex for this army? That's surprising. I would think that they would dabble a little bit in the line, release some models, maybe like a start collecting, at least 1 or 2 troops, fast attack, heavy, a couple HQs, etc. See how it goes over with the people, how they sell, how popular they are, how the rules work, etc. And then kind of add on to it in time if there's big demand for them. It seems strange that they would get a full codex right off the bat. I would think it would be more like some kill team stuff and then maybe like rules into 40k. Possibly like a start collecting with like a white dwarf article, with rules and points, etc. But it sounds like they're going full out in 40k. Which is cool. I mean, that's better. You obviously want them to be a full army, not just some little like, drip drop of whatever. But the truth is, they took things like Harlequins and put them back inside of the Aeldari Codex. They took like the Sisters of Silence and put them back in with the Custodes. They tried to do like the separate thing. So the last couple times they have tried to branch off a faction into its own thing, it has failed and eventually got rolled back up to where it started. So it seems strange to me that they're going to try to do the same thing again with squats and roll them out into their own codex. But, I mean, we'll see. We will see. I mean, I think Harlequins as a faction have something like, they have like 4 different HQs. They have a single troop. So that's 5. They have a couple fast attack slots. I want to say 7. And then heavy support / troop. So I want to say it's roughly like 9 or 10 total selections for you to choose from. And I think that's pretty much the bare minimum that you can do. So if you make, 5 kits and have each one of them buildable 2 different ways, you can get, 10 selections out of them. So I think that's probably what we would expect at the minimum. I think a minimum of 5 kits with 2 different ways to build each kit, as like, your maybe troopers can all have heavy weapons, or they can teleport in for like fast attack. You can have a vehicle that could be either a transport or like a heavy support or a fast attack. You know, you have a leader basically that can be built a couple different ways as like an HQ. Because if they don't have a minimum amount of selections, it's going to be very hard to build like a functioning army. And they've already said that for the most part, if they put rules for something in a codex, they're going to offer a model for it. You know, it won't be up to you to like convert your own stuff. So we'll see. I'm still not 100% convinced that it's going to be like a standalone full codex. But I am excited for them. I'm honestly just glad they're coming in anyway. And excited for all the rest of the codexes, models, armies to come. So, I mean, I think at this point in time, you know, we've already seen the announcement of Tyranids, obviously, Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights. So, I mean, we're basically missing, like, Imperial Guard and, what, maybe like 1 or 2 more for 40k? I feel like we're getting towards the end for sure. Is it really just Guard or Adeptus Astra Militarum, rather? Man, I can't honestly think if there's another codex we're missing still. So, we're really close to the end of all the codexes rolling out. So, I think realistically, Astra Militarum probably rolls out before this one does. I think all the codexes are probably rolled out before this one does. And then it's like sort of the icing on the top of 9th edition. But we'll see. We will see. Overall, I like it. You know, it's only one model and some artwork. I like the idea of it. Obviously, people like dwarves in the fantasy setting and elves and all that good stuff. There's already elves in this setting, so it makes sense for them to have dwarves as well. Cool gun. Sort of has like some looks of some other stuff, but you can't quite make out exactly what it's going to be. We've seen the plasma. We've seen the power fist. We've seen, you know, this thing. This could be the regular gun. This could be a special gun. Really don't know. I would assume that, you know, kind of based on their fluff and based on what we see in this article here, that they're going to be a rather elite force. So maybe not have a ton of numbers, but hit really hard and have nice armor. They don't appear to be like super heavily armored. But also this guy right here could be more of like, you know, a scout or like fast attack guy. He doesn't have to be. They say basic trooper they mention in here. So I guess it's possible. You know, compared to a space marine, obviously with like the cloth and everything, he's like pretty exposed. So I would assume there's no way they're going to have like 3-up saves. So they can't be that elite if they're not going to have 3-up saves. Maybe they have some sort of like force field or something. So maybe they have like a 4-up regular save and a 4-up invulnerable save or a 5-up invulnerable save. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's obviously can't really like speculate on the rules, but we do see that this dude's armed with this cool bolt gun type weapon or whatever it is. A pistol. And then a grenade. We definitely see like some sort of combination of Imperial and Tau. You know, this is like a little bit reminiscent of like Tau on some of this stuff, but obviously has kind of like the human, you know, traditional Imperial tech built in. They have like the, you know, kind of a little walkie-talkie screen or whatever on their arms. So overall, you know, they kind of, the armor and everything, especially in this one piece of art right here, sort of looks like a Castellan robot, just in general. So it would kind of make sense that they have like a little bit of like AdMech kind of tech as well. So we'll have to see, but very cool. Definitely glad that it wasn't a troll. You know, that's the most important thing. I know people are excited for squats. It'll be cool to get them. I'll be happy to see their models, paint up a couple of them. Me personally, probably not going to take the plunge on squats, to tell you the truth. But I think they're cool. They're fun. They're exciting. It's something new. You know, for people that want a little something different or have always loved squats or dwarves or whatever, I think this is great for them. So let me know what you think down below. Did you feel like we were getting trolled? Did you agree with me in the comments that no way this was a troll, too much time, effort, and money was going into it, and that the most important thing is, you know, building up a bunch of hype and then selling people something, because this is a business? You have questions, comments, you recognize some of this tech? Do they remind you of something else that I didn't mention? I always love hearing from you guys. Appreciate all the positivity in the community, or should I say guys and gals, because I know there's a couple ladies out there as well. I do like to hear from you. Make sure you leave a comment down below. If you enjoy this type of video, reactions, reviews, and news, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We do all kinds of Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, and warcry content as well. Obviously, show off our commissions as they leave the studio. And we do quite a few tutorials. Painting, magnetization, lighting, pretty much anything to do with tabletop wargaming, including D&D. And all kinds of tutorials how to do those things. Always list all the paints and supplies used. And if you ever do have a question or anything like that, feel free to reach out, as I am glad to share any of my techniques or colors, anything like that. Glad to interact with you guys. And I obviously always make sure to comment back to anyone that leaves a comment. So that being said, that's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.